Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good noon class. I do hope you all are doing well. Yes class, come towards page number 67. Mark today's date and day. Class, today we are going to discuss advantages and disadvantages of television and newspapers. So, today we are going to compare two very important mode of information and communication, television and newspaper. Class, what kind of programs do you like to watch on television? As we know, there are different kind of programs like news, sports, informative and educational programs, entertainment and documentaries, etc. And we prefer to watch according to our interest. Same is the case with newspaper. And what kind of newspaper do you like to read? Most of the people like to read all type of newspapers. So these two are mode of information and communication. And what do you think, which medium of information is more important and why? We are going to discuss these things in our chapter. Let's start reading. Come towards paragraph number 1. News coverage over television is different from reading newspapers. Newspapers were primarily established to cover the news, and later on they added entertainment. On the other side, television was mainly invented for entertainment, and then it became an effective news medium. Now television news has become powerful rival to newspapers. Though both of these mediums cover the news effectively, there are distinct differences in the way they do it. This is our paragraph number 1. First of all, underline all the difficult words. Start from coverage, then primarily, then invented, then effective, then rival, and last one distinct. Yes, class, underline all these difficult words. You have dictionaries with you. After the reading, you will open your dictionaries and you will find out all the difficult words. And you will write down these difficult words with their meanings in your registers. Yes, class, both newspaper and television are very important medium of communication, but both have different purpose. Basically, the purpose of newspaper is to give information, whereas television was invented primarily for sake of entertainment. But now both newspaper and television are used for news and entertainment both, and both have become competitors. And both television and newspaper have their own advantages and disadvantages. Now move towards paragraph number 2. Newspaper do not require us to sit at a place and read the news. Busy people may read the newspaper any time of the day. They may read the news that is important to them early in the morning and carry the paper with them to read in the bus or van. They may also choose to omit certain aspect of the news that they are not interested in. Yes, class. Again, underline the difficult words. Although the diction of this chapter is really very easy, but there are few difficult words in this paragraph. Underline, omit, and aspects. So, as far as newspapers are concerned, that is a portable mode of medium of information. So, for busy people, it's easy to carry newspaper anywhere with them, and they can read newspaper at any you can say time, any time of the day, uh, and they can skip the detail, they can go for headlines only. So it's easy to read newspaper for busy people. And what is one good thing about newspaper? The one good thing about newspaper is that we can read them at any time and any place. So it doesn't require a specific time or place to read newspaper. We can carry newspaper with us, and when we find our free time and leisure time, we can read newspaper. Paragraph number 3. Television, on the other hand, requires its viewers to be at a certain place at a certain time in order to watch and listen to the news. If they are busy people, they will miss the news. They cannot choose to read it on the move or throughout the day. They cannot even choose which piece of news they wish to skip. One way could be to record it and watch it later, but the point here is that it is not that convenient. Yes, class, again underline all the difficult words, and difficult word here in this paragraph is convenient. Underline convenient. As far as television is concerned, it is not a portable, you can say, medium of news. We cannot carry television with us anywhere, and we cannot skip the news according to our choice. So it is not as convenient as newspaper, although it is very effective and it is very important medium of communication and information, but it has its disadvantages as well. For busy people, it's difficult to manage time, to sit at a certain place and at certain time of the day to listen, to watch and listen the news. Now come towards paragraph number 4. Television brings laziness in us. We can view the news with a little or no effort since it is practically a form of entertainment. If we have the leisure time, we can view the television news any time of the day and night. It broadcasts the news as it is happening. Much mastery over language is not necessary for the person who prefers to view the news on the television. Because everything is visual and auditory. A person with a basic knowledge of broadcast language will be able to view and understand it. In comparison, the reader of newspaper needs to be proficient in the language in order to understand it better. As far as television is concerned, that brings laziness in us. It makes us more lethargic, as there we can view the news without any effort or any without any effort. And another thing is, I think it's good that even the layman can watch and understand the news, because mastery over a language is not a requirement. It doesn't require to have, you can say, very deep knowledge of language, because everything is visual and auditory, whereas newspaper required a proficient knowledge of language, and you can say, and mastery over a language to understand the news in a better way. So both television and newspaper have their own negative and positive point. Yes, class, how does television make us lazy? On television, we can view news with a little or no effort. In this way, television makes us lazy. Now come towards paragraph number 5. Although television can give us the most updated news and visuals, newspaper can give us more in-depth coverage. Editorial and column writer can give us their expert views and analysis that we can digest slowly as we read them. Many people also opt to read more than one newspaper a day so as to get different viewpoints of the story and to check its validity. Readers can also give feedback on the articles by writing the forum pages. Viewers of television news do not have this luxury, as the news flies too fast for any feedback to be relevant. Yes, class, underline difficult words, underline visual, in depth, then viewpoints, validity, opt, luxury, and last one, relevant. So, there's no doubt television gives us more updated news and visual, but on the other hand, newspaper give us more in-depth coverage. There are different editorials and column writers who are giving their expert opinion and analysis about the news, and most of the people, they prefer to read different newspapers to check the validity of any story or to check the credibility of any news, and they can give their readers of newspaper can also give their feedback, whereas the viewers of television, they do not have this facility or this luxury, as the news flies very fast, and for any you can say feedback. So both television and newspaper have their own positive and negative points, have their own advantages and disadvantages. Yes, class, have you ever given your views on any article? If yes, then tell me in the comment. Now come towards last paragraph. Each medium has strengths that the other does not. Each makes use of strong points that the other lacks. Television use is like having a fast food meal, whereas reading newspapers is like having a 10-course dinner. The ideal seems to be, if one has the time, to both read a newspaper and read the newspaper and watch it on television. So class, both television and newspaper are very important and effective medium. Both have their own strengths and their own disadvantages. But if someone has enough time, it's better and it's ideal that if someone has enough time, then he needs to go for both, to read the newspaper and to watch the news on television. These mediums help students in a different way. They make our vocabulary enrich and give us more expression and make our diction more, you can say, better. And it is very important to get updated about what is happening around, because in this era of science and technology, we cannot live without these things. So everything has its own positive and negative points. It is up to the user how we get benefit from these things. In last paragraph, the author has used a simile, and following simile he used, that is, television news is like having a fast food meal, whereas reading newspaper is like having 10-course dinner. How we get to know it's a simile? As we know, simile is a comparison by using the words like and as. Here the writer, the author used like. And what is the purpose? He used this for comparison. He compares television with newspaper. So this is all about television versus newspaper. I do hope there is no problem. The unit is quite easy and interesting. If you find any problem, if you have any problem, you can contact me in Google Classroom. Now I'm going to share its exercise with you, and after watching that video, we will move towards our assignment. Thank you and have blessed Friday.
20 we have this vocabulary portion. Part A we have give the meaning of each word as used in the lesson, which means that we have to write down the contextual meaning of the given words. Number 1 we have primarily, which means at first, distinct, clear, aspects, viewpoints, leisure, free time, auditory, relating to hearing, coverage, reportedly, luxury, comfort. Now part B we have form a noun with each of the following words and use the nouns in sentences, which means that we have to form nouns of the given words. First word we have relevant, and the noun would be relevance. Interested, interest. Require, requirement. Convenient, convenience. Effective, effectiveness. Or you may write down effect as well. Secondly, we have reading comprehension, analysis of patterns of text organization. We have read the text before, now we have to give answers of these MCQs. Choose the correct option. Number 1 we have in paragraph 1, the topic sentence is supported through dash. Options are facts, examples, definitions, and the right answer is A, through facts. Number 2 we have paragraph 2 shows that watching news on television is dash. Options are not as convenient, trouble free. Number C we have more convenient than reading newspapers. And the right answer is A, not as convenient. MCQ number 3 we have the key idea of paragraph 4 is dash. Options are reading newspaper is more convenient than watching television. Number B, watching television and reading newspaper are equally convenient. Number C we have television viewing is more convenient than reading newspaper. And the right answer is A, reading newspaper is more convenient than watching television. Number 4 we have paragraph 5 dash. Options are gives arguments in favor of television, gives arguments in favor of newspapers. Option C we have shows both mediums are equally advantageous, and the right answer is B, that paragraph 5 gives arguments in favor of newspapers. Number 5 we have television news is like having a fast food meal, whereas reading newspapers is like having a 10-course dinner. This sentence is an example of dash. Options are metaphor, simile, personification. And the right answer is B, simile. Because in simile we compare two things by using as or like, and they have used the word like, which means that is the example of simile. Number 6 we have paragraph 6 concludes that dash. Options are we should use both mediums of information. Number B, television news should be given preference. Number C, reading newspapers is more convenient. And the right answer is A, we should use both mediums of information. Now on page number 72 we have this part B. Read the text again and put information from the text into the graphic organizer showing compare and contrast, which means that we have to write down the similarities and differences, but what the topic is about. So as if we are reading the unit television versus newspapers. So this question is about television versus newspapers, which means that we have to write down the similarities and differences between television and newspaper. Similarities are cover news effectively, which means both medium cover news effectively. Second similarity we have between television and newspaper, present views of different experts. Third, we have bring awareness. Both mediums bring awareness to the people, and the differences are television requires to sit at a certain place to see and to hear the news. Second difference is TV news require time and place. And the third difference is TV gives updated news while newspapers give in